I agree there is an extremely high opportunity that the Federal Reserve goes to make XRP holders very wealthy. I'm going to talk approximately why I agree with that, to be the case interior of that's the year for XRP to have absolute international domination. Now, there's some of various factors which might be gambling into my price projections for XRP, why I think it'll simply dominate the crypto marketplace and probably even become the maximum treasured cryptocurrency out there. And so I want to cowl they all. I first just want to start with the reality that the worldwide economic outlook is asking surely extra special. In truth, the SAMP P formally crossed above and is now buying and selling at a brand new all-time excessive. And that is following some other large green day. Now, this is honestly virtually correct news in my factor of view, due to the fact we are in all likelihood to peer a number of capital from all of this inventory. Marketplace appreciation circulate the crypto market very soon. And sure, the crypto market has been looking up. Once again, Bitcoin's hitting new highs. XRP is doing thoroughly above 3 amongst a lot other superb news. But we haven't visible this stage of appreciation, this amount of capital flow into the crypto markets yet. And so, yes, I am wondering that we're going to see another huge rally very quickly that is absolutely out of doors of all the information I'm going to cover for you men these days. That's quite high quality. Now, one extra component to point out, although, is that the US credit scorecard debt is now up $51 billion over the last YR to a file $1.09 trillion. You can see right here the amount that America debt has gone up over the course of the final 4 years has been clearly astronomical. So yeah, you may see this as a bad thing. You can see it as an awesome element. The truth of the matter is the stock market is certainly nevertheless developing and, well, business space have numerous thrilling things to mention approximately, cryptocurrency, the Federal Reserve, and plenty greater. And I need to begin by getting a quote from Larry.Fink right here, due to the fact he's been talking a lot these days about Bitcoin and some different cryptocurrencies as nicely. He's a BlackRock CEO, manages trillions of greenbacks in assets, and properly, let's just say, he's now a large believer in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. I'm going to play this clip for you guys because it's pretty crazy. If you are fearful of your debasement of your currency, or you are terrified of your economic or political stability of your US of A, you may have in the world over primarily based device referred to as Bitcoin that will conquer the one's nearby fears. And so I'm a massive believer within the usage of that as a tool. And so if that turns into real, and also you see that it is able to be a proper hedge towards maybe hope protection or equities, the question is, may want to notice a 2 or 5% allocation. I was with a sovereign wealth fund throughout this week, and that turned into the verbal exchange. Allocation, should we have a percent allocation? If anybody followed that verbal exchange, but you realize it would be 500,000, 700,000 in step with Bitcoin. That is quite loopy, right? And this type of dialogue, I think, can't be understated because that is the equal kind of concept that the Federal Reserve and American government are going to begin having to you. Can already see that many one-of-a-kind states across America and many different countries have already started adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. Is awesome considering all the things that Larry has mentioned here, the fact that it may certainly be a hedge towards inflation, and increasingly humans are beginning to adopt it in modern virtual age. But then you need to absolutely consider, okay, the Federal Reserve of the USA, I suggest trillions of bucks there. You have all of the exclusive states within the United States. Government, you know, that's, you understand, billions of bucks there. You have all of the other big global leaders like China, Russia, all of Europe that have extra trillions of more bucks in all of their strategic reserve asset pools. And so, yeah, it genuinely begins to add up pretty speedy. And this is why Larry.Fink is saying 600,000 to 700,000 bucks in step with Bitcoin. And I assume this is sincerely a completely affordable estimate, all things taken into consideration. I assume that Bitcoin should realistically go lots higher if each unmarried US of A is having these discussions. Now, you is probably questioning, what does this ought to do with XRP? Well, just wait till I show you what I'm approximately to expose you with the Federal Reserve. Before we get into that, there is one more vital quote I need to go through right here with none other than Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, who become announcing that President Trump is excited about a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But Brian Armstrong is somebody who has these days talked with Trump. I want to play you this clip. Then we're going to get into the Federal Reserve type news. Okay, pay attention up. Well, you've had the first-rate opportunity of meeting 2 times with President Trump. You met him before the election, met him after. How serious is he about a strategic Bitcoin reserve? Well, I failed to communicate to him about that in particular. However, I suppose he's excited about it. I imply he actually wants to be the primary Bitcoin president. Cynthia Lummis inside the Senate is genuinely, I think, the one using this legislation round a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And I assume it is a great concept. The US certainly has reserves in plenty of factors. Gold, oil, I assume like special uncommon minerals, like palladium and all these things. And so you recognize, I assume the sector is transferring to a Bitcoin general for money. They actually must preserve. Any authorities who holds gold have to additionally hold Bitcoin as reserves. I'm certain right. So Cynthia Lummis, it truly is the name we need to look out for. She is extraordinarily seasoned crypto, and
she, of course, is pushing a ton of legislation forward so one can actually assist the crypto
industry. Very important stuff. But with that being stated, there was these days some updates with the FedNow provider and the way it runs on the ISO. We all know the XRP HBAR network additionally runs on the ISO. Very vital stuff. But there may be one unique quote here that I desire to proportion with you guys. Some of economic establishments said they were watching for FedNow to set up earlier than finalizing their Ripple actual time fee method. And whilst you leaf through all of the documentation from Ripple and, of course, also from the Federal Reserve, you can see how carefully they're aligned of their missions. You can see the Federal Reserve constructed a FedNow service to assist make ordinary bills over the approaching years faster and more convenient. But the element is many of those establishments, which might be going to be the use of FedNow, and of course Ripple, understand that they need to paint things in tandem with one another, which over again is a simply critical factor, especially when we examine this specifically. You see XRP's entire goal, Ripple's entire intention, is to remain more committed than ever to the simple goal of creating XRP, the world's reserve virtual foreign money. This is of their challenge statement. All of the companions and financial institutions that are speak me with XRP, with Ripple, well, they are also talking about FedNow. They're very closely aligned. And then that is the point that I'm seeking to make. ISO, compliancy, FedNow, Ripple, all the monetary establishments which might be seeking to companion with Ripple, all of them have this very same mentality and of direction. Whilst you take a look at the center mission of Ripple on the equal time as nicely, it turns into very abundantly clear to me anyways, that the Federal Reserve and Ripple, they may be going to be a massive partnership, and those type of connections are being constructed, and they may be being made lots greater sturdy for the duration of Trump's presidency and inauguration. You saw direction, the dinner that Brad had with Trump and so on. And so that is something that we really want to put together for, due to the fact all of these trillions of greenbacks that are available, that the United States authorities has, that the Federal Reserve is in control.